All right, let's dive into KFin Technologies Limited. You sent over a really fascinating set of documents about this Indian financial services tech company, and it looks like their Q3 FY25 results just dropped. And we've got everything here from press releases to an investor presentation, even a limited review from their auditors.
Yeah.
This should give us a pretty thorough view of how they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. This range of sources is fantastic. And, not just for getting a sense of their financial performance, but also
Yeah.
kind of their strategic direction. It's like getting a sneak peek behind the curtain of their operations.
Okay, so before we get lost in the numbers here, let's start with the basics. What exactly is KFin Technologies' role in the financial ecosystem? I know they deal with asset managers and the stock market, but break it down for me. What services do they actually provide?
So they're essentially the backbone for a lot of activity that you see in the markets. They handle the sort of behind-the-scenes technology and services for things like managing mutual funds and stock issuances. If you think of the financial world as a complex machine, KFin Tech is making sure all the gears are turning smoothly.
Interesting. So they're not managing the investments themselves, but rather providing the infrastructure for others to do so.
Exactly. And they're not just a small player in this space either. They're actually the largest investor solutions provider to Indian mutual funds and the leading issuer solutions provider for companies going public in India. So their reach is pretty substantial.
Wow. Okay. So they're a dominant force domestically, but what about internationally? These documents mention some pretty significant global moves this quarter.
Yeah, they are definitely aiming for a global presence. This quarter, they expanded into Malaysia and the Philippines, adding a number of new international clients to their portfolio. But I think the most intriguing development is their inclusion in BlackRock's Aladdin Provider Network.
BlackRock, as in the investment management giant, what are the implications of that partnership? It's got to be more than just a name drop, right?
Yeah, it's a major signal to the market about KFinTech's capabilities and credibility. Being part of BlackRock's network gives them access to a much wider pool of potential clients and partners globally. It's a huge validation of their technology and expertise. Think of it like a local band. Suddenly getting signed to a major record label, it opened
Yeah.
up a whole new world of opportunities.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so international expansion is clearly a big part of their story. But let's swing back to these Q3 results for a minute. That 32.6% year-over-year revenue growth for both the quarter and first 9 months of the fiscal year is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal growth rate,
Hmm.
especially for a company already as large as KFin Tech. And what's even more impressive is that they're not just growing, they're doing it profitably.
Mhm.
Their EBITDA and PAT margins are both strong, which indicates uh, efficient operations and increasing profitability.
So instead of getting into a basic explanation of those margins, can you tell me what these trends indicate about KFintech compared to its competitors? Are they outperforming, or is this just standard for the industry?
Well, this level of growth and profitability definitely puts them ahead of the curve. It suggests that they are not only capturing a larger share of the market,
Mm-hmm.
but also managing their costs effectively, allowing them to convert more of their revenue into profit.
Mm.
This is a strong signal to investors that KFinTech is a well-managed company with a solid financial foundation.
Okay, so we've got strong financial performance and ambitious global goals. The investor presentation breaks down their business into different segments. Let's dive into those. What can you tell me about their domestic mutual fund solutions segment? I know they're already a leader in India, but the presentation hints that they're actually increasing their dominance.
They are. Not only are they the biggest player in this space, but their market share is actually growing. This is a testament to their ability to attract and retain top clients. The investor presentation highlights the fact that they work with five of the top 10 fastest growing asset management companies, or AMCs, in India.
That's impressive. What about their issuer solutions segment? They're helping companies go public, right? What kind of companies are they working with?
Well, they're working with some big names, including LG Electronics and Kent RO Systems. The fact that established, recognizable companies are choosing KFinTech for their stock issuances
Hmm.
speaks volumes about their reputation and credibility.
It's a sign they're trusted by the big players. All right, moving on to their international investor solutions segment, where we see their global ambitions in action. They're not just testing the waters; they're securing major wins in new markets.
Yes, the investor presentation highlights full service contracts they've won in the Philippines and Malaysia, which indicates they're going for a leadership position
Yeah.
rather than just a small piece of the pie. This strategic expansion, coupled with their BlackRock partnership, suggests a well-calculated approach to establishing themselves on a global stage.
And then there's their other investor solutions segment. It's like they're creating an ecosystem of financial solutions beyond just mutual funds and stock issuances. Can you give us some insight into what they're doing in this space?
Well, they're diversifying. They're seeing impressive growth in alternative investment funds
Mm.
or AIFs, which cater to a different kind of investor. And they've launched a new wealth management platform called Empower Wealth, which has already attracted significant clients like Tata Capital. This platform allows individuals to manage their wealth effectively, bringing sophisticated tools to a wider audience.
It's interesting that they're not just focused on the big institutional players, but are also developing solutions for individual investors.
Okay, so all signs point to a company that's firing on all cylinders. But before we celebrate too much, let's dive into their financial statements. What are the key figures we should be paying attention to, and what story are they telling? Well, their strong revenue growth is obviously a standout feature, but beyond that, their EBITDA and PAT margins are healthy and trending upwards. This tells us they're managing their costs effectively, converting more of their revenue into profit and becoming increasingly profitable overall. This points to a company that's not just growing, but growing smartly and sustainably. This is a good sign for investors.
That all sounds very positive. But hold on a second. Flipping through the auditor's report, something caught my eye. They mention an escrow account incident involving a past client. That doesn't sound good. Can you shed some light on what happened?
Certainly. This is where things get a bit more complicated. It appears there was an incident where shares were transferred from an escrow account without proper authorization.
Okay, let's back up for a second. What exactly is an escrow account, and what kind of situation would lead to shares being transferred without authorization?
So think of an escrow account as a neutral safekeeping spot for assets during a transaction. It holds funds, or in this case, shares, until all parties involved fulfill their obligations. It ensures that everything is done according to the agreed upon terms. What happened here is those shares were transferred out
Right.
without the client's permission.
That sounds pretty serious. How did KFin Tech respond to this incident?
Well, the auditor's report indicates that KFin Tech took responsibility for the situation, despite it seemingly stemming from actions by a third party, specifically the depository participant, or DP. They covered the potential losses for their client and are working to recover the funds from the parties involved.
So they're taking a financial hit to make things right for their client. That's a pretty significant step.
It certainly demonstrates a commitment to their clients and ethical conduct. They could have tried to deflect responsibility, but they chose to prioritize their clients' interests. However, this incident does raise questions about their risk management processes.
It makes you wonder how something like this could happen in the first place. It'll be interesting to see how they address this moving forward. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's shift gears back to something more positive. The investor presentation also mentions this MF Central joint venture with CAM. It sounds like a pretty significant development. What can you tell us about that?
So it appears to be a strategic move to create a centralized platform for the entire Indian mutual fund industry. It's being positioned as a digital marketplace where investors, asset management companies, and other key players can connect and transact seamlessly.
So it's like they're building a one-stop shop for the Indian mutual fund market. What does this mean for KFin Tech and the industry as a whole?
This joint venture has the potential to be a game changer. It puts KFin Tech at the forefront of this digital transformation, potentially expanding their market share and influence even further. It could reshape how the Indian mutual fund industry operates.
Well, that's a pretty exciting development. It seems like KFin Tech is involved in some pretty groundbreaking initiatives. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground. In this first part of our deep dive into KFin Technologies Limited, we've got a company experiencing impressive growth, expanding globally, navigating a complex incident, and building a platform that could potentially revolutionize an entire industry.
You know, It's fascinating to see key fintech's approach to technology. It's not just about making things faster, more digital. It's about using technology uh, to increase transparency and efficiency for everyone involved. They're streamlining these complex financial processes in a way that benefits the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it feels like they're modernizing an industry that has traditionally been pretty opaque and difficult to navigate for the average person. Speaking of complexity, the auditor's report dives into IND AS standards and regulations. Can you give us a quick breakdown of what those are and why they're important in this context?
Sure. So IND AS refers to Indian accounting standards. They're essentially the rules of the road for financial reporting in India, based on international financial reporting standards, or IFRS, which are used globally. These standards help ensure consistency and transparency, making it easier to compare financial information across different companies.
So it's a way to make sure everyone is playing by the same rules and presenting their financials in a way that is universally understood. So when the auditors say KFin Tech statements comply with IND AS, it's a good sign.
It definitely adds a level of credibility to their numbers. It means they're adhering to a rigorous set of standards, which helps instill confidence in their financial reporting. Of course, as we saw with the escrow account incident, compliance doesn't completely eliminate the possibility of issues, but it does provide a framework for accountability and transparency.
Right. It's all about building trust,
Mm.
which is paramount in finance. Okay, so we've talked about their financials and regulatory compliance, but what about the people behind the scenes? The investor presentation highlights their leadership team. What can you tell us about them?
Well, they've assembled an impressive team with a good blend of experience and fresh perspectives. You see seasoned veterans with deep expertise in areas like mutual fund operations and technology, alongside individuals who bring new ideas and approaches. This mix suggests they're well positioned to navigate both the traditional aspects of the industry and the rapidly evolving technological landscape.
It sounds like they've got the right people in place to execute their ambitious plans. The investor presentation also sheds some light on their shareholding pattern. Can you unpack that for us? Who are the key players, and what does their involvement tell us about KFin Tech?
Yeah, so as of December 31st, 2024, General Atlantic, a leading global private equity firm, holds the largest stake in the company at 33%. This isn't uncommon. Private equity firms often take significant ownership positions when they invest. It signifies a strong belief in the company's long-term potential.
So it's more than just financial backing. They're bringing their expertise and network to the table as well. Is there anything else noteworthy about the shareholder structure?
Well, KFintech is publicly listed
Yeah.
on both the National Stock Exchange of India Limited and BSE Limited, which allows a wider range of investors to participate in their growth. It's not just about large institutional investors. Individual investors also have the opportunity to buy into their story.
That's great. Makes the company more accessible to a wider range of people. Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture for a moment. We've seen KFinTech's impressive growth, their innovative solutions, and their global ambitions. What does all of this mean for the future of financial services? Are they disrupting the status quo?
I think they're at the forefront of a major shift in the industry. They're using technology to make financial processes more efficient, transparent, and accessible, not just for institutions, but also for individuals.
It sounds like they're democratizing access to financial tools and services.
Yes, exactly. Take their Empower Wealth platform, for example. It's designed to empower individuals with the tools and resources they need
Yeah.
to manage their wealth effectively. This is a significant departure from the traditional approach,
Yeah.
where such tools were only available to a select few.
It's exciting to see this kind of innovation, making financial management more accessible. What excites you the most about what you're seeing with Key FinTech? What stands out as particularly noteworthy in their approach?
Well, what strikes me is their ability to blend technological prowess
Mm.
with the deep understanding of the needs of their clients. They're not just building technology for technology's sake. They're solving real problems
Mm.
and creating solutions that add genuine value. It's this combination of technical expertise
Yeah.
and client centricity that sets them apart.
It's like they're bridging the gap between complex financial systems and the everyday needs of people and businesses. It seems like they're constantly pushing the boundaries. of what's possible. But we can't ignore that uh, escrow account incident. It raises concerns about their risk management, especially as they grow so rapidly and expand into new territories.
You're right. It's a reminder that even with strong performance, there's always room for improvement. While their response to the incident was commendable, it underscores the need for robust risk management and internal controls,
Hmm.
especially as they handle increasingly complex transactions and,
Hmm.
and navigate different regulatory environments globally.
It's a good reminder that growth and success come with a responsibility to manage risk effectively. It'll be interesting to see how they address this moving forward. Speaking of responsibility, the investor presentation touches on their sustainability and social responsibility initiatives. What are they doing in that space?
Well, it's encouraging to see a company that's not solely focused on the bottom line. They've implemented a variety of initiatives aimed at reducing their environmental impact, promoting diversity and inclusion within their workforce, and supporting community development.
It sounds like you're trying to be a responsible corporate citizen,
Yeah.
which is important in today's world. Are there any specific examples that stood out to you?
Well, their efforts to reduce their carbon footprint are noteworthy. They're investing in renewable energy sources
Hmm.
and implementing energy efficient practices across their operations. They're also actively promoting diversity and inclusion within their workforce,
Yeah.
creating a more equitable and representative environment.
It's great to see a company taking these issues seriously and putting tangible actions behind their words. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what is the one thing you really want our listener to understand about KFin Tech based on what we've discussed so far?
I think KFin Tech is more than just a financial services provider. They're innovator and a potential game changer. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the industry, and their story is a fascinating blend of impressive achievements and ambitious plans for the future.
Their journey is certainly compelling. We'll be back in part three to explore the potential risks and challenges KFin Tech might face as they continue to grow, and what their success could mean for the future of the financial services industry. Stay with us.
You know, as we've been going through these documents, it struck me just how massive KFin Tech's operations really are. I mean, they're handling millions of transactions, managing trillions of rupees,
Hmm.
and working with a global network of clients. It's mind-boggling to think about the sheer scale of what they're doing. Yeah, it's not just the size that's impressive. It's the complexity they're managing.
Yeah.
Think about the intricate web of regulations, compliance requirements,
Hmm.
and security protocols they have to navigate. It's a real testament to their operational expertise
Yeah.
and the robustness of their technology.
It's like they're conducting a high-stakes orchestra of financial data, making sure every single note is played flawlessly. But with all this growth and expansion, are
Yeah.
there any potential downsides or risks we should be considering? What could trip them up?
That's a crucial question. Rapid growth always brings its own set of challenges. As KFinTech expands into new markets and takes on more clients, they need to ensure that their systems and processes can scale effectively
Yeah.
without compromising quality or security.
It's like they're building a rocket ship while it's already in flight. They have to keep everything running smoothly, even as they're adding new components and accelerating. What kind of specific risks do you see on the horizon?
Well, maintaining the quality of their services as they scale is going to be key. They'll need to manage their growing workforce effectively and make sure their technology can handle the increased load. There's also the risk of unexpected external factors, economic downturns, regulatory changes,
Mm.
or even cybersecurity threats that could disrupt their operations.
Right. It's a reminder that even the most successful companies are operating in a complex and ever-changing environment. How they adapt and respond to these potential challenges will be crucial for their long-term success. And of course, we can't forget about the competitive landscape. The financial technology sector is incredibly dynamic with new players emerging all the time. How does KFinTech stack up against the competition?
Well, they're definitely operating in a fiercely competitive space. To stay ahead of the curve, they'll need to constantly innovate
Yeah.
and anticipate the evolving needs of their clients. It's a constant race to develop new solutions
Mhm.
and enhance existing ones.
It's like they're running a marathon where the finish line keeps moving further away. But from what we've seen, KFin Tech seems to have the drive and the resources to compete at the highest level. They've got a solid track record of innovation, a strong leadership team, and a clear vision for the future.
Absolutely. And their commitment to international expansion shows they're not afraid
Yeah.
to challenge the established players in the global market. They're aiming for a leadership position on a global scale.
Their partnership with BlackRock is a major asset in this endeavor. It gives them access to a global network of resources, expertise, and potential clients. It's a powerful alliance that could significantly accelerate their international growth.
Yes, strategic partnerships are crucial in today's interconnected world. It's no longer enough to go alone. You need strong allies and collaborations
Yeah.
to achieve global dominance. And KFin Tech seems to understand that.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into KFin Tech, let's leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question. Given their impressive performance, their bold ambitions, and their unwavering commitment to innovation, what do you think? Could KFin Tech become the next global financial technology giant?
It's certainly within the realm of possibility. They have all the right ingredients: a strong foundation, a talented team, a commitment to innovation, and a global vision. It'll be
Yes.
fascinating to see how their story unfolds in the coming years.
It's a story that's just getting started. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of KFin Tech. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those thought-provoking questions.